to be a pain to, and now it would be too much of a pain to transfer them van to van. So this is, I don't know, season 1, episode 1-ish. Let's see. All right, so you guys are all hanging out at Section 28 headquarters in Grand Rapids, Michigan, at the sanctuary, post your last mission, where you successfully bargained with a group of boggarts to not take over and completely rearrange the air zoo, as long as they were fed pizza, lots of pizza, and one veggie tray, for the one guy. Yep,
extra ranch
every Friday.
Sure. All right. So, as you folks are putting away the stuff that you did not return to the stores, I'm looking right at you, WD-42, with that giant flat screen. I'm just saying.
But they need it.
But so you are summoned to the one of the conference rooms in Sanctuary, post haste. So are you all getting there quickly, or are you strolling in, or what?
Imp will put away his book on probably at this point Germanic history. He's trying to brush up on it. Okay. And he'll head into the into the conference room.
All right.
I'm gonna head there, avoiding as much sunlight in 42's room as much as possible.
Fair call. It is midday, so you are up and around as is your normalcy, but you are definitely avoiding the windows and, not being burnt to a crisp.
And the cats.
And the cats, yes.
And just the pure stench anyway, too.
I had planned a trip, but apparently they love it in that room.
No idea what you guys are talking about.
The cats have decided, which this is something you will have to figure out later, because you did promise a certain goddess that you would take her some cats. The cats that you had promised have decided that they actually like WD-42 and the hunting ground that is her room, their room, and
negotiations are strenuous. I understand.
Yes,
there was much catnip involved.
We're all involved.
Yep. So, anyways,
it was just there.
Are the rest of you actually going to the conference room?
I would be heading straight there.
All right.
I'm walking towards the conference room. Honey, hey, I gotta go again. Tell the kids I love them. Bye.
All right.
That's my question. How long have we been back? Was it, hey, we got back in the morning, we put the stuff away, and we immediately got called to the conference room?
No, you guys got, you put stuff away and kind of got a chance to sleep because you guys had been up for well over 24 hours at that point. So you guys did get a chance to rest a little bit, and then like early afternoon, you guys received the summons. So those of you who were up, were up. Those of you who weren't quite totally awake, probably Sapling.
Gruff.
Here, wait, let me get my bed head.
Gruff was not up either.
There you go.
We were supposed to sleep.
It just hands
Wikipedia pages to be updated.
It just hands WD-42 an energy drink.
That's a fair call. All right, so the rest of you do.
Too late. She is late, but not too late.
The rest of you do wander in, and Sapling, I'm going to judge that you're probably the last one into the room.
Sounds like everybody else was pretty timely.
For once.
I'm definitely carrying a hot coffee though, so it's not.
Oh yes.
I'm still trying to figure out what time it is, but
yes.
Other than that.
So as you walk in, you do see Heather, who is Agent Califoot, who is in the ops planning team, or actually the head of ops and planning. She is before you and says, okay, sorry to send you out so soon, but we just had an incident downtown. You folks are the best folks that we can send right now. The other cleaning team is actually up cleaning out something else about 2 hours north of here. Boomer and Deacon and Roach just got into a firefight at the main library downtown. And from what I understand, Boomer had her AA-12 with grenades.
No.
Yeah. So it was a firefight with a particularly interesting new cult. We'll do some investigating on this end, but
human? Human. And she breaks out their grenades.
It's Boomer.
Yeah.
I don't know what you expect.
I mean,
Things go boom.
but like, I understand with the trolls. I understand with like the monstrous creatures with the thick skin. I get it. I'm there with her. Humans.
It's Boomer.
Really?
It's Boomer. Really shouldn't expect any different there, Imp.
So
right.
yeah.
Don't
I've already
forget the
sent Fred to
rations.
go
Yeah.
grab the van, load up your supplies. I'm guessing there's a fair amount of work that will need cleaned up. If you find out what's going on with why there was a cult there, see what you can figure out. But as always, at this point, really try and cover up the grenades as much as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she was just trying to bounce them off the walls to see how many corners she could hit.
Wouldn't be
So-
the first time.
That's gonna take a lot of duct tape.
All right. Looks like I gotta break out all the carpentry
WD-42,
stuff.
you may want to take a few extra rolls with you on this one.
Yeah.
And Sapling, I'm hoping you're rested up as well, because it was books, so it should be a fair amount of paper as well.
I'm gonna put in I want to bring a spare bag just in case. I feel like it's gonna be a 2-bag day.
Probably a good choice, Imp.
Probably a good choice.
Yeah.
All right. It's the main public library downtown, so have at it. From what I understand, police are currently on scene. Boomer and company are still there. I know Spooky is there. They have the war wagon. They will be pulling out as soon as you get there because they have other things to do. We've got a developing situation elsewhere that they need to rejoin the rest of the team with. So
They always have an excuse not to clean up after themselves.
We always get stuck with it.
Especially Boomer. I feel like she does it on purpose.
I know how my mom feels now.
Agent Califoot looks at you and goes, "So is there any other questions?"
This
No.
is all pretty emergent. It happened like very, very recently. Like
Yes.
within the last hour or
Yes, Gruff.
How much wood am I gonna need?
Are
to
there
grab?
any good restaurants on the way between here and there?
Good is relative. I mean, there's a lot of restaurants around. Yes.
Cool.
Quick takeout.
Never mind. Yes. There are a bunch of takeout and fast food restaurants.
Anybody else
here
feeling
and there.
Thai I want to feel the pain on the inside as well as the outside at this point.
Yes. Yes.
Whatever floats your boat, Imp.
No, I'm good. I just came from home, had a great lunch with wife and kids. I'm good.
You
If
know
we
you're
Who's
divert,
got my
how they doing?
leftovers. When your wife
Oh,
cooks,
they're
you're
doing
supposed to bring
great.
leftovers.
Yeah, where's the leftovers, man? Couldn't like
Sorry, I'm gonna have to ask I'll ask my wife next time to make leftovers.
You
For
know,
you
I could always
guys.
go for a good bite.
Vlad, no.
At that, Agent Califoot just turns, shakes her head, and walks out of the room. That's just.
I reach
No.
for the I reach for the
I can
curtain by
see-
the window. Vlad.
Don't you do it, Neuro. Don't you do it.
There's no windows in the conference room. Nice try.
Oh,
Gotta
It's a
protect the
secure.
vampires.
It's a secure conference room. There would be no windows at all.
Yeah. You know what? Ever since she took over for our last handler, she's been it's been fun. I like her. She just rolls with the punches.
Yeah.
yeah.
Reminds me
All
of
right. So, are you guys heading to the motor pool to see which van Fred was able to check out?
Yeah. What do you think what do you think
I'm
we can
first gonna
we
go
can
and check out a gun from the armory and then head out.
Speaking
I'm
of the
gonna
motor
make sure
pool-
that I have my cooler this time.
Smart. Speaking of the motor pool, Imp, I wrote your witness statement. If you would please sign it for the last
Okay,
vehicle.
Oh yeah, sure. Reads over it real quick.
I wasn't going to try that again.
Uh-huh.
We may have retconned it, but I can't reuse that one.
Okay. Good. All right.
All right.
Signs.
So, Neuro, you go into the motor pool, of course, or to the warehouse, the armory. Russell is there. He absolutely hands you your pistol with a couple magazines of ammo, holster. Yeah. Anybody else grabbing anything as they go from
I'm gonna
their
grab-
room? Anything specific?
I'm making sure I got my belt with the hatchet and discs.
Nah.
Good
I'm
call.
grabbing my standard woodworking gear since it's the library. There's probably going to be a lot of woodwork that needs to be done.
My standard bandolier and hatchet.
All right.
All I need.
Right.
Imp just
And a case of duct tape as we go. Going out.
Do
Plus
we-
my trusty Swiss Army knife too.
I'd say
Alright,
whatever.
I always have
Whatever.
that.
Yeah. When
Gruff, what were
I
you-
grab it, you can't see my face anymore. It's that big.
question-
Gruff, what were you going to grab?
I'm just grabbing my duffel bag.
Okay.
Do we have any kind of like filler material? Like say if we were going to repair like something that we couldn't get all the pieces back into quickly to kind of be like a inert
I'm
material?
pretty. Would
Stucco.
that already be close to or near where the van is?
Yeah, there's that will all be a lot of that materials, a lot of those materials and the tools will be accessible through the panel in the van that goes into the special closet at the warehouse
Mhm.
that maintains that connection. So
Imp
and
just-
some of it you actually do store in the van as well.
Mhm. Imp will just go by the warehouse and grab 2 of his special bags, just in case, slinging one, and then the other one he'll just basically put in one of the panels of the van.
Okay. As you guys are walking down to going your various places and going back to the motor pool, Sapling, Agent Califoot meets you aside and says, by the way, it looks like there were some cultist bodies that are there. Double check them over. I don't think they need to come back here, but they can be released to the coroner. They're not to be released until after you guys look at them. Okay.
Okay, I'll add it to the list.
So, all right. So you You make your way to the motor pool, and Fred is waiting with one of your vans. It is not as dinged up as usual. So obviously after the last trip with the Tulo drive-through and other things, that van has obviously been sent to repairs. So this is obviously one of your spares. So
I thought that was one of our spares from that we used last time.
yes, you have
We rotate.
you
three,
have
right?
3 that are in constant rotation. One of them is always in the shop for repairs. One of them is always in paint and body repairs, and then one is driven by Fred or whoever. Generally, Fred, if he's available.
We give
Or
you
me
job
if it's
security.
late enough in the day.
I mean, those are the only 3 vehicles that you are allowed to check out by yourselves. You are allowed to take other transport if somebody else is driving, but those are your vans.
I mean, that's what technically someone else is driving.
Someone other than Fred or your team members are driving. Yes. So,
So can we
It's
just
a-
kidnap a random guy off the street to drive for us?
You've been recruited.
I feel like you've asked that question before. I feel like the answer has always been no.
How many times did we summon an Uber driver, like for them to get stopped at the gate?
And
No,
not
no,
yeah.
summon via the app.
We've got the
Summon.
video.
Yeah. Uber has actually blanked out that location permanently on their side. So they're like, come to this location. I'm sorry, I'm not allowed to go to that location. You know, that's the Uber thing right now.
I mean, I
Uber
thought,
and
Guys,
Lyft both.
I got this other head that uses Lyft.
Yeah, both
No.
all of the major ride share folks or all the major ride app
you know,
folks,
I almost had the one time. I had to offer 4 figures, but I almost had them.
close.
It was a
Close.
good day. It was a good day.
Yeah, so the van in front of you is the standard matte black, dented, scraped gray of the OTA. There is an official OTA and Homeland Security seal on it, on the driver's door and on the passenger door. Other than that, there's no light bar. There's none of that because let's face it, the first time they put a light bar on one, it got ripped off anyway, so they don't do that anymore.
What about the? I
Pricey.
mean, I recommend
There's
the
a-
grill one.
There is a grill guard, and it uses tubular steel, and they still have to replace those usually. So
Guys, we do not need a light bar. That just means we get there faster and have to work sooner.
I can't
They're
argue.
not wrong.
Right.
yeah. So you pile into the van. There are seats, of course, in the back for all of you. There is one up front with Fred. There is one that's shotgun with Fred. Who is taking that up there, playing with the GPS and making sure that Fred gets to where he's theoretically supposed to go?
Nose goes.
All right. So Gruff has volunteered. Gruff climbs up front with Fred.
We're never.
Rest
gonna
of you
get
in the
there.
back.
Imp, you said tie, right?
Ty, yeah, Ty.
Okay.
Is my blender packed?
You very
That's on
successfully,
you. That's on you.
as you lean over, you grab
Hurry.
kind of there's a GPS screen in the van specifically for Fred, and you kind of lean over and program a route that takes you to a Thai restaurant and then to the scene. Yes.
What's the number
You
or
do
what's
that.
the place? You know what? I'll call ahead and in order.
It's called My Ties.
I was gonna say
it-
there's a
it-
good place up on Leonard, but sure.
I like my ties. Yes.
My ties is good.
Oh, it's real.
I know, I believe it.
That's all I'm
Uh,
saying. I'm done now. I'm just that like
So we're
There's
going
one.
to my
talk
ties, and
later.
then
I need more good time, please.
I can't
All
let
right.
it appear on the right. crap.
No.
Sorry, guys. I try. Folks, I tried. I can't have alcohol appear on the receipt. Otherwise, I totally would have gotten us all Mai Tais as well.
We don't have to hand in the itemized one.
Yes, you do.
I gotta fill that stuff out, guys. Don't make my job harder.
Do you honestly think Nancy would let him get away with not handing in the itemized receipts?
I
had
choose
my-
life. I choose life. There are a few things I fear in
I've
this
lost a
world.
hand over it before. I'll do it again.
Look, there are a few things I fear in this world after having outrun a nuclear blast and experienced part of Vietnam. Nancy is one of them.
Yep, pretty much.
I am not
Pretty
She
messing
can get
with the
really scary. I
accountant.
don't blame you.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true. All right,
Fine if you
so
do supposed
you do. Fred does follow the GPS faithfully, pulls into the parking lot of the restaurant. You get food, lots of food, and then go on to the library where, as Fred pulls up, you pull up to the scene, and the war wagon is up on the sidewalk. There are police cars and fire trucks everywhere. There are ambulances around. The war wagon is sitting right in the smack dab middle of the sidewalk, right up by the steps up into this grand building of the library. Fred slams to a halt, still on the street, but right next to the curb, about 3 feet from the back of the war wagon. So
Fred.
he's like,
No, that's good. That's good. That's a good distance.
oh, wait, they can't lower the ramp. Puts it in reverse, backs up, pops up onto the curb, and smacks a light pole.
We were so
Fred.
close. We were so close. Ah,
He's like,
Fred.
all right,
You need to sign this. Stop. You need to
I'll
sign
fill out
this.
the paperwork later. You guys, Boomer is standing there just. Just that look of disappointment on her face.
Fred's why we can't have nice things.
so
I update
So-
the count on the inside of our van that says vehicle.
let's account for the
days without vehicle accident. It was already still at 0, but just make sure it's right.
there's 2 counts. There's the actual days without where we
Hours
actually like
without?
have to where we have to change the numbers, and then on the inside right next to it we've just put permanent marker to tick
Yes.
the number of times Fred's hit something.
Light poles,
It's-
curbs, we got different signs.
No, it's got the
it's
number
one-
of days, and then it says again.
Again.
Yeah.
It's a
No, it's-
again column that
there's-
gets counted.
Sapling, I love that idea where there's actually the light posts, fire hydrants, other vehicles,
Yeah.
drive-through canopies that now has one big box on it. You
I'm proud of
know?
that one actually. I'll be honest, I'm proud of that one.
Somehow there's actually an airplane on there with one mark. That one was not a good day, you know.
There's
Yeah,
one
that's
with
the
eight,
story
right?
we
No,
don't
I was not
about-
pleased with that one. That one definitely ticked me.
That's a story we don't talk about.
Yeah.
And
I mean-
it's updated on the inside of every one of your vans
Yeah.
whenever you do that. So it's just a running tally. All right, so Boomer is standing there just shaking her head. Deacon and Roach come out of the main doors, so it's about, it's a grand entrance, kind of stone steps up, large double doors, very fancy double doors, about half a story. It's a very large grand entrance. They walk out, and so Deacon and Roach kind of walk out the door. Here you go. And walk down the stairs. Deacon is actually talking to one of the police officers that's there as well. Out. Okay. So Deacon is talking to a police officer, one of the officers on scene, walking down, and they walk in, or they walk down, and you guys climb out of the van. What are you taking out this time? Are you climbing out with tools, or are you going to kind of go in and do kind of look and see what's going on first, or what?
Is it late enough that I don't need to worry about the sun, or do I need to put,
I'm
like,
sorry.
my
It
suit
is
on?
by the time you get there, it is probably the sun is starting to set, so you're still in your protective gear with sunscreen on, basically. So
That's the
you
stinky
can't.
stuff.
Yes. So you cannot be totally outside without protection, but you're protected enough to go into the building, between the van and the building.
All right. I'm going to make sure I grab what I need then, like my tools and my toolbox, basically. Make sure I have that.
Okay.
I effectively have a tool belt that I'm just putting stuff like odds and ends that I think would be useful. I know
Okay.
we've got a couple toolboxes that are ready to go. I grab a toolbox.
All right.
Imp will go to the like one of the larger openings, and he'll basically start pulling out like the janitorial cart that has that. He'll put it down and it'll open up another one and start breaking out the cleaning supplies for like blood stains, that kind of stuff, and
Okay.
start loading it up and tossing on trash bags, and he'll break out a couple of body bags as well, because he's been told that.
Yep. All right. As you start doing that, Imp, you reach in, you grab, you've got like body bags in your hand. As you set them down, you
thank God.
bamf out, you bamf back in, and you're holding an ashtray. Looks like on close inspection, it looks like it's a human skull, the cap end of a human skull.
What'd you got there,
And
Imp?
it's got, when you grabbed it, it still had smoking cigarette butts in there, and they're still there. So
Imp just looks at it and goes, "This isn't gonna kill me yet." Takes what's left and like smokes one of the cigarettes. Like,
You don't know what's
It's-
in that.
it's an older cigarette and older tobacco, so it's much more harsh and unfiltered.
oh, ooh, good stuff.
There could be some eradicated disease on that. Come on, man.
I'll live.
You don't know where that's been. You know when it's been, probably, but not where.
Yeah, when is it from?
Oh, that's a skull. Was that from a Nazi or something? That's kind of weird.
Well, it's I'm guessing this is at least pre-1970s cigarette, so I can tell you that much. What? That's when they got popular. When the filters like started to shoot up.
That's fair.
Anyways, should we get to
Interesting
work?
upcycling.
I don't know.
Work.
I grab my duffel bag and I'm gonna walk up towards Boomer. I'm just gonna. What was going on? Like, I heard there was a shootout. What all happened?
So there were a group of people, apparently they were cultists. They got into a fight with a couple of security guards here, and it was over some really strange books. So we happened to be in the area. We stopped by. They drew guns. We drew guns. They did some wiggle finger stuff, magic stuff, and so I used grenades.
Oh, there's your explanation, Imp.
Cool.
I'm not listening. I'm not
Self-preservation.
listening.
I like that. Grab my case out, pad past Boomer, giving her a look on the way up.
Sorry, that
Take
actually
another-
that message was actually to Imp.
Yep.
Sorry.
No worries.
So yeah, so she's like, so yeah. There are 4 of them up there. We know that I think 2 of them escaped. We don't know what they were actually here for. We don't know. They were here looking and talking about some books that were in some special collection or something. And yeah, we don't know. I don't know if they actually got away with any, but it was pretty rough. And you actually do see Roach actually has Imp, as you look up and you see Roach actually has like blood on his arm, like he actually got tagged in a shot. Missed the vest. So so she's like, but we've been called. Caliphate said she'd be here like half an hour ago. So
Traffic was horrendous.
we need to go.
I literally just grab up the clamshell and just. Sorry, we were late.
Just death glares, just like daggers. It's like
I had nothing to do with this, Boomer.
just that calming deep breath. It just kind of a.
Traffic
This
was
is what-
awful.
This is why you're Team Omega. And she turns and walks and climbs up into the. She's
Okay,
like,
Boomer. See you later.
I was gonna ask if she wanted me to patch her up.
as she walks around the side of the war wagon, she kind of looks back at you, flips you off, and walks on.
That scans. That scans.
I just
Right.
I'm gonna tell HR about that. I gotta start my list.
Didn't you tell them about you getting flipped off by Boomer like last week?
Oh, they've got a count. Yeah, they told me they're not gonna do anything till it hits a certain number, so they told me to keep counting.
Oh, okay.
Did they tell you what that
How
number
high are
was?
you at right now?
About 200.
Where you're
Okay.
at, or what the number is going to be before they write you up?
No,
Write her up.
I'm at about 200 because Spooky told me it's funny to say "Okay, Boomer," and it gets a reaction, so I keep doing it. So
Our fearless leader.
At least you know she likes you.
she does not like me. To be fair, feelings mutual, so it's okay.
By the way, Sapling, you feel very cold right now.
I look around. Okay.
Everything all right, Sapling?
Did it get colder?
I mean,
Not
the sun
yet.
is
my
setting.
knowledge.
The sun is setting, so I mean,
What's the date?
temperature's going to.
It's like in the mid 80s. I mean, it's a nice
What-
day out.
What's the date?
Oh God, it's 80.
Oh, so we're talking like August.
42 is like dying right now.
Late August, early
42 who
September.
wears
Yeah.
nothing but flannel and is hairy.
Yep.
Oh,
Right,
Yep.
clear.
Yep.
Feel bad for 42.
All right.
Uh,
So
Get inside now, please. Thank you.
all right.
as Roach and Deacon just kind of look at you, climb in the back to pop the back of the back stairs down from the war wagon, and Deacon goes, "It's all yours. We gotta go." Close the thing, and as the back ramp is closing, the war wagon fires up, and somehow this giant MRAP actually burns rubber and peels out off of the thing. You're still not sure
Boomer's
how
behind the
Boomer
wheel
does
again.
it. Oh yes, Boomer's driving. Definitely. She actually had walked around to climb into the driver's seat.
I don't think anybody else is allowed to drive that.
No.
I mean, she told me they're not, but I don't know if it's true.
All right.
For
So-
Fred, I hope you don't do
Consequences if they
anything
do.
like that.
As you're standing there watching the war wagon drive away, this woman comes out. She's about average height, brunette. She kind of walks out. She's in a basically a business suit or a pantsuit. Kind of walks out. She said, "Are you here to help clean up the mess?"
Imp will look over at Sapling, seeing if Sapling wants Imp to take over the human interaction.
Yep.
So Imp will take the cigarette, the cigarette, the unfiltered cigarette that he's been smoking, put it out in the ashtray, stow both in his bag because he needs those, and he'll kind of like do the brush away and walk up and say, "Yes, hi, I'm Agent Zagrafalos."
Oh, I'm. My name is Joan Lott. I'm the assistant director here at the library.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to meet you, Joan.
I wish we were meeting under different circumstances, but okay.
Always. Mm-hmm.
I'll show you where everything happened, and you can talk to the officers and folks in here.
Of course. Real quick, was there? Did you have like security cameras?
Oh yes. In fact, I will introduce you to our director of security. James will actually help you.
Okay.
With that.
Yeah, I'll just our tech person will be here to take a look, make sure everything's good with that, and I motion towards WD-42.
Okay.
All right.
It's okay. And as you walk in, there's this. It's a large. I keep saying it. It's a grand entryway. The floor that you walk in on, there's a large staircase going up to the next floor. There's also a large staircase going down into the lower floor. From the outside, the building looks like it's about 3 or 4 stories tall. Obviously, you're walking in kind of at the halfway in between the first and the ground floor, the first and basically the basement. If you go, as you're looking up the large staircase, you see an information desk up there. There's somebody behind there. There's lots of uniforms up there. Looking down below, you do see another information desk and more stacks of books down there. It is pretty barren down there. As you look around, you do realize that there's not, I mean, they've obviously cleared out all the patrons as much as possible. And it's, so she leads you up the flight of stairs.
By the way, real quick, is there like an elevator to this upper area? We have some equipment that needs to be wheeled in, and we just want to know how we could get it up here.
The best way to do that, there's actually a service elevator around the back on the loading dock.
Okay.
Coming to the loading dock there. If you want to back back your vehicle up to the.
No, I think we'll go
loading
around.
dock
It'll be fine. It'll be fine. We like where it's at.
Okay. All right. Well, it's so the loading dock, and she kind of stops and she kind of motions. She's like, all right, so if you go around that way in the corner, it's kind of pretty much directly opposite from where we are. That was off the alley right there.
Got that, Neuro?
Yeah, I'll go help. I'll take Vlad around that way.
Okay.
Okay. And they walk up. So she kind of goes, okay, and she walks you up. Who all is walking with her and you at that time?
And I'm guessing
is it pretty much everybody but Neuro and Vlad. Yeah.
So,
He's
yeah.
basically
the
Okay.
tech is.
with
Okay.
with Glitch being the muscle, he's gonna be having some of the stuff that we could haul up the stairs, as opposed to not wield.
Mhm.
Okay. Great.
So yeah, and then was all of the this is more for us. Was all of the combat isolated to this area up here, or anything we need to make sure we go look at as well?
I will show you. I will show you where everything happened. As you reach the top of the stairs, of course, there's a lot of police officers. There's a fighter there. They're kind of a couple EMTs with stretchers, and there's also another guy in a suit. She, as you walk up, she says, "Oh, James, come here," and she says, "James, this is Agent. I'm sorry, I did not get your name."
Zagraphos.
Zagraphos. Agent Zagraphos. This is James Davidson. He's our director of security here.
Mhm.
He will actually show your IT person where our camera system is, and of course, you'll have full access to that as well.
Okay.
He
Yeah.
will show them how to
Mhm.
work the cameras.
Thank you, James. This is 42 here. You're gonna can you show them where to go?
At that point, I actually put the box down.
Yes. Yeah, sure.
Best in the business, trust me. Your systems are in good hands.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, let's go this way. And WD-42, he leads you back down a hallway towards some offices, and there's as usual, it's a security office, so it's a tight little cubby hole with a bank of monitors. That's legitimately what it is.
Home sweet home.
He's like, here's our system. If you need any, do you know how to work the cameras and things?
I'm good.
Okay. If you need anything, I'll be right down. I'll be at the main entrance, the main information desk. Just come and find me. And he kind of turns and leaves at that point. The rest of you,
how retro is this?
It's pretty retro.
It's
It
a
has been-
public funded volunteer.
It has been upgraded to digital, so it's not analog tape, which is good. You kind of half expected analog tape at this point, but it is actually digital. It's not as nice as some of the stuff you've worked with, obviously, but the
It's
system
good
itself.
to get back to the roots.
The system itself is pretty rudimentary, and the cameras are decent, but they're just decent cameras. So it's really easy to flip through and figure out which cameras to pull from and how to pull back from their DVR. So you're going to be fine with that. The rest of you, the assistant director Joan walks you out through, and you see this. You see over the stacks, there's a haze of smoke, and you're pretty sure that's where the grenades were going off. As you kind of walk back there, she's like, I don't understand. We don't know. We just got this shipment of books in, and these people just started, and she's just rambling at this point. These people started taking our...
Joan, all right. This is how it always is. I'm so sorry. You get a random shipment of books, or someone's going through grandma's attic, finds something, it goes to it goes to like an antique show, and all of a sudden we have people coming in trying to steal it. There's a firefight and things happen, and it's not great. We don't like it. We're working on it, but
about that time you come across your first body. And she's like, oh, and she kind of tiptoes and kind of moves around it, just kind of that. She's well beyond her.
Yeah. So
frankly, she's well beyond her pay grade at that point.
So while Imp and the assistant director doing that, I set down the toolbox, pull out a tarp, put the tarp over the body, pull out some caution tape, and put that behind our group so no one else comes behind us.
Okay, good call.
Imp will be like, so just a few questions. Again, thank you for having your security director show us where your where the tapes and stuff are. Do you have anything? So in the thing, did you find like a ashtray, part of a skull, something of that nature?
No, we don't have anything like that
Mm-hmm.
that I know of that was part of the collection. No.
Okay. And then do you have an inventory for that collection?
Yes. The person who gave it, let me see if I can find that inventory. I'll have to go see. And she kind of turns, she stops, she goes, "Is that an arm?" And sure enough, there's
Mm-hmm.
I'd
an
like to make a
arm.
medical roll to see if
He's gonna hurl.
if it's an arm.
Mm-hmm. Can I do a?
Go ahead and make the medical roll.
Yes. Yeah.
Can I also make that medical roll?
Yes.
I know it's an arm.
Yes, it is. It is very much a real arm. It's leaking, stuff out the. It's from about here on down, so it's not at the shoulder. It's particularly even more gruesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Imp will just step in between her and the arm so that he's now filling up her field of view.
Sapling elbows
Gruff,
Glitch
is
before he
that an
says anything.
upgrade?
Elbows
Elbow
Gruff.
you before you can release. I see the look on your face. I'm just gonna elbow you.
It's like, I think that's an upgrade for.
No, Sapling was elbowing Glitch.
Did I say Gruff? I'm sorry. I thought I said Glitch.
And Imp. So Imp, as you're standing there, she's like, it takes her just a second. She's, I'm sorry. What was I saying?
You were telling me about the collection that you got.
Yes. It's from this. It was donated by Stella Levine. She's one of our patrons. She had this collection apparently from her late husband or whatever, and it was donated. We just got it in a couple like a week ago. And we were still in the process of inventorying it and cataloging it.
Oh, all right. And do you have an item? Was there an inventory that was given for it, or?
Yes, I can go get that for you. I will have to. I'll have to go find that and get that for you.
Of course.
I'm sure I have that in my office.
If you want to go and do that, you can. We'll cover some stuff up so that you don't have to see everything when you come back. In fact, I can meet you away from this area.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
She kind of turns and kind of starts slowly making her way. You can tell she's definitely in shock at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see here.
Have Neuro and I rejoined the group yet, or?
So you guys come around the back of the building, and there's a loading dock with a ramp up to the dock as well, and there's a back door. Standing by it are the police officers, kind of like, sorry, you can't come in here. This is currently an active crime scene.
Yeah, and I hold up my badge. OTA cleanup crew.
Oh,
We're bringing
Oh,
stuff
yeah,
through.
you're those guys. Okay, yeah.
Those guys?
Vlad, calm down.
And he kind of steps out of the way, holds the door open for you. It's a great big, it's one of those great big steel heavy back doors. And you wheel past. There's a freight elevator right there. You figure out just from looking that you're coming in right at what would be the basement level. So when you open the freight elevator up, there's 1, 2, and 3. And then, of course, basement, which is where you're at.
Mm-hmm.
I read you up. Hey guys, what floor does this equipment need to go to?
I think we're on the top floor.
All right, thank you. I hit floor 3.
Okay. All right. You get up to the top on the 3rd floor. You walk out, and there's no one. In fact, this is like, it's definitely like archives. It's not. This is probably not public access area. This is much more of the kind of the stuff that is just archived and put away and not brought out.
I thought you guys said 3rd floor.
I don't know what floor we're on.
Hey, Imp, what floor did you guys get to?
I don't know either. Just you'll find us. I believe in you.
I go back in the elevator, hit 2, and then 1.
Okay. By the time we get down to the first floor,
we went up a flight of stairs. That's all we were told. I don't feel like I got this information from anyone else.
Keep trying, you'll find us.
by the time you get down to the first floor, you do realize that is where you're supposed to be. As the service elevator door opens, there's a short corridor, and then through a set of double doors, you come out pretty darn near. You actually look to your right, and right there is like smoke and haze, and you can smell the gunpowder stink and the cordite and stuff. So yes.
Is anybody else around?
You can hear the team's voices kind of off to your right. You really are not seeing anybody else at this point.
Okay. Vlad, this is the floor. Let's bring everything off the elevator.
Finally.
And then afterwards, you can have a break.
No, it's more if I want to get started on rebuilding stuff.
So
that's what I'm here for.
So you come around. So as you guys are, as you folks are standing there, waiting. So your, the director has gone to go grab the list of stuff that was in this collection. What else are you doing in the meantime?
I'm guessing Iron, myself and Glitch are going to be covering up all the bodies.
Okay, it's a fair call.
At least until the civilians are gone.
Are we basically giving them a quick pat down, saying what's in their pockets as well, or just covering?
We'll do that after they leave.
Okay.
My question, out of character, which one of us has medical? Anybody? Like actually has the medical? Okay.
I was gonna say Glitch has the disc, and I know that Gruff does have some. Actually, has a decent, a little bit of medical at least. So.
Yeah, no, I only have first aid.
Got nothing.
I don't believe I have it.
I have enough. We can get through stuff so long as I don't bomb rolls.
Yeah, between the two of us, we can do okay. I'll be fine.
Because I was thinking Sapling, I would look at the bodies so that we could get them out of there.
Okay.
Oh, I guess that would be a good question. Has the coroner already shown up?
The coroner is waiting for you folks to be done with your initial look through. They're not coming anywhere near this area because they were firmly told by Boomer and company to stay away.
I'll be back in a minute.
Probably some expletives used in that instruction.
No, but it could have been a hint of her vampiric gaze that may have been used on to intimidate. The coroner really
Well-
wanted to get to the bodies soon, and
I'm gonna take a look at the bodies then in the interim because I might as well.
Okay.
I'll perceive them. Special training.
In a very short time, the director does come back. She's pale, kind of in that stilting. She is still in shock, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of trying to figure out. And you hear her mumbling as she's coming. She's like, "What am I going to tell the board? What do we do next? I got to talk to. What am I going to tell Mrs. Levine? Or what am I going to?"
I'll
Yeah,
catch
just
her
kinda that-
before she. I'll catch her like, if she's coming through the stacks, I'll catch her before she can get a view of that area again.
Okay. Yeah.
And then
You can hear her coming in, and it's just kind of that she's definitely spinning her wheels at this point,
Mhm.
just fully into
So-
shock mode.
So yeah. So this is the list.
Yes. And I just uploaded the list to the.
Thank you. Thank you, John. I don't think Sapling, is there anything else we're gonna need from her?
Do you have a card?
I do have a card.
Yes. Let me just, and she she digs around, she grabs it, she hands you a card.
Yeah. And I'll give her one of mine.
Okay.
And if you can think of anything that comes up, just give me a call.
Okay. I will be here until, obviously I have the paperwork. I just
Preach it, sister. I mean, what?
yeah. I will probably be here when you finish.
I was gonna say, I don't think you need to be here. I think the paperwork will stay. The paperwork will keep till tomorrow. I think you should just go home and get some rest. We'll take care of it.
And she just kind of turns around and walks.
Mhm. Yeah, we have your number. So
she's gone. She's completely in shock at this point.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. So
Does she need an
Hey, I
escort
just
to the
met you.
door?
This is crazy. But some cultists had to shoot out in your library
Maybe.
and
Maybe.
all the other bodies smell kind of nasty.
Thanks.
This is where we're at.
Yeah.
It's not the worst thing you guys have smelled.
All right.
I mean, you're not wrong.
No, they're not wrong. All right. So, what are you doing? So
Investigating the bodies, I rolled
All right.
a 43.
okay.
So awareness or medical?
Are you looking
Medical.
for?
Medical combat trauma.
Okay.
They
Yeah.
underwent some combat trauma.
They appear to be
definitely-
exploded.
They definitely underwent some combat trauma. There's an awful lot of shrapnel. That one is missing an arm. That one is missing parts of itself.
I'm actually looking for pre-existing mutilations or scarification or tattoos on the body currently.
Okay. Well, let's just talk about the bodies that you find. One of them is a tall, long, black male adult. Riddled with high caliber rounds. So probably actually Deacon or Roach versus not Boomer on this one.
Mm-hmm.
There is some kind of scarring on the chest. It's a weird scar. It's a weird shaped scar. I'll get you the shape later.
Mm-hmm.
The next one you come to, the one that's missing the arm, is a shorter white male adult, white hair and beard, so older. Again, you do find upper left chest that same weird scar shape. Your best guess, legitimately, probably from a branding iron of some sort. And I'm sure you're taking pictures of the scarring of the shape and stuff, right?
With scales and rulers and whatnot. Yeah.
Yep.
I will assist.
You do come. The next one you come to is about an average height, white female. She is younger, young adult, not teenager, but so younger adult, blonde. Although she is currently missing her left leg above the knee. You're pretty sure you'll find that leg somewhere else in the surrounding area.
Or not.
Or not.
Yeah, it could just be.
You may find bits and pieces of it elsewhere, but
Thanks, Boomer.
Yeah, you can see why we couldn't work well together. This is
then you do find another woman, average size, white female adult, brown hair. By the way, the younger one and this one both do have the scarring as well. Same place. And it's high enough. It's actually up on the shoulder, so it's not anywhere in the lower chest, in the breast or anything. So it's actually up high.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I was envisioning anyway. But yeah.
Yep. So that's where that's what you find. The last one riddled with high velocity rounds. So as you turn, actually as you kind of turn her over, you see she has a handgun kind of underneath her with a slide lock back. So she obviously was probably returning fire. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So looking around, you do find most of the missing leg. It's still there's about a foot of it that's missing, including the knee area. So
Impact zone.
There's a foot missing.
But it's not the foot. It's a foot, but not the foot. Yep.
Fred, you're supposed to be at the van. Can you just
No, Vlad was helping me bring stuff in.
So
That was Vlad, not Fred.
are you also looking for IDs and that sort of thing, or
that's the second portion is IDs, and specifically with Vic 4 there, serial number for the handgun and things like that.
Sure.
Then trying to chase that down.
Okay. Imp, what are you doing? Imp, Vlad, Neuro, Glitch, what are you guys doing at the time?
I'm currently reading through a list.
Okay.
I'm going to take a look at.
Speaking of reading
the
through a
structure.
list,
We're going to take a look at damages, see if there's any structural integrity done that needs to be fixed first.
Okay.
I'd be assisting with bodies as well with the medical that I have.
Oh no.
Okay.
Did
All right.
Miss Levine donate all 100 of those books?
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
100 is a strong term. Some of these are sets of books.
Yes.
Fair, but 100
That
different
100
titles. That's
collection. Yes.
Yeah, and we may have to confiscate them all.
WD-42, let's get back to you. You're doing your magic in the security room. As you pull it up, you can easily scroll back and find the gunfight. And from what you're seeing, and you're at this point, I'm assuming you're like scrolling it back, and then you're plugging in your hard drive and you're just copying, like dumping everything, right?
Once I recognize who the cultists are, I want to back it up to what their entry,
where they're entered, and what they did during. Yep, absolutely. And I'm assuming
anyone
even
they
before
talked
that.
to.
Yep. So you actually do have a couple different devices. One of them, basically, once you plug it in, it starts cloning the hard drive immediately in the unit itself. So you're going to have it all to take with you back to headquarters. But as you kind of scan through, you notice that there were 6 people that entered the library together. They all went to this area, and the area where the books are kept, this is actually in a room. It looks like they went to a room that is shut off from normal access. You see it labeled actually there's a map, like there's a floor-by-floor map laid out on the desk. And you see it labeled on the as special collections. They kind of went to that door. They tried to break into it, couldn't quite get into it. You see one of them break off, and as you kind of follow her through the other cameras, you see her in that same area, which is in the it's in a very specific area. You see her grab 2 other books and actually go over and scan and actually check them out with a library card. Okay. And then she goes back to join the others and kind of is watching as the others are trying to break into this room. You see 2 security guards come up, and they're unarmed. They're just kind of regular rent-a-cops, basically. And they try to intervene, and then they start getting beaten, basically. And then one of the cultists pulls a gun. And as you kind of fast forward, you see, you can actually watch from the entrance, Boomer and Roach and Deacon roll in, come up, and once they engage with the people who are trying to break into that section, one of the people turn around and start firing a handgun at the Section 28 agents, and it was over within just a few seconds after that. You do notice, you're very careful watching, and you do notice 2 people leave. 2 people escape. One of them being the woman who checked out the 2 books. And you actually watch her and her partner running out with a bundle of, she is running with a bundle of books in her hand as she's running out the door, and you lose her once she gets out the door. You lose them both when they get out the door. So
did I see them? They didn't actually get into the room.
The room was opened by grenade fire. You aren't quite able to tell, the cameras aren't quite good enough to tell if you saw that she and the other guy and the guy that was with her were near that opening, you don't know if they actually were able to take anything or get anything. But you do see them running away with books, and so the room itself was opened, but not through the door.
And I do want to, while looking for recordings, go as far back to actually the arrival of the books.
That one, yes, you can actually go back to that week. It will take you a while to scan through that. When you do find that, as you look, you do see that the delivery of the books were brought in, kind of cataloged. You see the director kind of marking off as they kind of read a book, mark off the title, go through, and then they were stored in that room, and the person who dropped them off left. Are you watching that room throughout that entire week? Because it has 7 days.
Unlike 100% speed, well,
Sure,
actually,
sure.
600% speed, yeah.
Yeah.
Just
so you
literally
do see people
going in and out.
And it takes you a little bit, but you're able to cross-reference everybody who went in and out is actually an employee of the library. Okay. An employee or a volunteer at the library. So
some sort of key or card was pulled out.
Yep.
Basically.
Yep. Or someone came and let them into the room to do some work in there. There are no cameras in that room. But so you don't know actually what all was in there or what was going on, but you do see, and none of the people who went in came out with those books or with any books in them. Okay.
Good to know.
So
I'm obviously going to notify the team that we've got at least 2 on the loose.
Okay.
And that we might have a name for one of them.
Okay.
Because I'm sure I could, if they don't help us, I'm sure I can hack the card catalog.
Give me your, actually, they're going to give you they're going to give you complete access to it. Yeah. So you're able to go ahead and give me a pro forma roll of operate computer electronics at this point.
So, 85.
Yes. Yeah, you're easily able to figure out, okay, do that, timestamp, that terminal, there's our name. The name you pull up is Leslie George. That's the registered name on the library card that was used. Leslie George, and I will spell it in the chat.
Did she check out occult knitting books? Is that what she checked out?
Oh, so speaking of what she actually checked out, see if I can actually do this. So,
Cultist Guide to Lockpicking.
No, not quite.
The Encyclopedia Britannica?
No,
that's more outdated than the security system here.
I mean, that's legit.
The key to unlocking the soul and how to prepare it for consumption. What?
So the first book, as
number
I'm
53.
So the first book, as I am posting in the chat, is The Primer to Climb the Exalted Mountain by Cosby Tizbayev.
I'm sorry, what?
Wow.
That's a mouthful.
The second one is Thesis on Invisible Arcana by Polypoetes. As translated and transcribed by Adam Arizani. Both of those were from the ancient religions section of the stacks.
I feel like I'm gonna regret trying to do a knowledge roll on these. Especially when I have specifically ancient history knowledge. All right. Should
I
I?
don't know. Has Gruff actually read one of those?
Good old Mr. One-Legged GM. Should I?
Go
can I
ahead.
Yep.
Yep.
That's a 67 on ancient history.
All right. So you're not familiar with the primer to climb the Exalted Mountain. However, you are familiar with at least the name of the Thesis on Invisible Arcana by Polypoetes. Polypoetes was a Greek scholar, cultist, religious figure. You know that this is the English translated versions. The original ancient Greek text was a series of texts. And this volume would have been specifically volume 6 of 12. That's what you know. You're not sure what the others had or what this actually had in it, but this is definitely raising a few red flags to you.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Poetes was a bit of a pothead when I met him, but still.
Why you say that like it's a bad thing?
No. I apologize. He wasn't a pothead. He was a wino. But like he unfortunately also was he knew his stuff.
Like
wow.
my dad knows his stuff, or you mean like what the book's written on?
Like this would be like the abridged version of of casting 101.
Sounds useful for a new cult.
Yes, very much so. So that's a thing right there. And you can tell me I am full of crap, Mr. GM, if you'd like to.
Yeah, we'll run with that.
What that
only Imp knows if he's telling the truth or not.
I mean, he's a wino, definitely. So yeah, I mean, I was going.
He was you do actually know that Polypoetes was who you did meet once in one of your trips.
Mm-hmm. It's a lovely urn that I got from there.
Definitely enjoyed mixing certain higher conscious substances.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And communing with the heavens, as he put it. And was known for writing down what he
higher thinking.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And you definitely do know that for the most part, he actually was connected. He was connecting all the right pieces when he was writing his stuff down.
Yeah.
So yes, what you said, you fully believe what you said is correct. Yes.
Yeah. So yeah. If this has one of his recipes in it, and I will tell you right now that those are really weird, they potentially could come back and have a little extra punch if they decide to cast on us, because he really figured some stuff out there.
Okay.
In fact, that's something we might want to give a heads up to the main office about them. If they are able to figure this out, they are definitely going to be dangerous.
Well, we also need to know how these individuals knew that these books were here. If they were still being processed, was this donation advertised in some way? And why would they not have attempted to steal these books while they were at the Levine home? Was there some sort of protection on the home that didn't allow them to get the books?
We can ask.
As I was going to say, as a point of clarification, when WD-42 said this, these 2 books were not from the collection.
Mm-hmm.
These 2 books were from the stacks that were already in there.
I should have clarified. I was referencing the donation.
Yeah.
But I didn't.
So as you are, Gruff and Glitch, as you are going through the bodies, the tall black male, you do find his ID. The name on the ID is Benjamin O'Neill. The older white-haired gentleman is Freddie Benton. And let me spell these out for you in the chat.
Is it bad that I'm writing out in my notes, bring out your dead?
I mean,
At least you don't have the theme song to the movie going through your head.
The young woman, her ID says Logan Carlson. And the other woman says Virginia Potts. I need a bunch of awareness rolls, like from everybody but WD-42, because they're already busy doing stuff. Mm-hmm. Anybody who's around the bodies in the mess.
Yeah.
Just kind of searching for stuff.
Imp is definitely reaching for I'm definitely reaching for my radio as I'm making this awareness check to buzz 42 to have them look up something for me.
Just to clarify, 2 awareness rolls from each person, please. Survival awareness.
2 of them?
Yep.
We're gonna have to revamp Glitch a little bit because I'm going by the old numbers.
Okay.
Those were what I rolled on the dice when I texted you privately.
Okay.
So
let's just start. Vlad, give me 2 survival awareness rolls, please.
88 and 90.
Okay. Glitch, I've got yours. Imp, yours.
My first one was 36. My second one was 44.
Okay. Neuro.
First one was 37. Second one was 46.
Okay. Sapling.
49 and 54.
And Gruff.
57 and 64.
All right. So as you folks are kind of rummaging around and doing stuff, Vlad, you actually find a wallet that you open up. The ID in there, and it is in that area of the firefight. So it was, I mean, take that what you will, whether it was there or not, but you do find a wallet that was dropped. It's got a few dollars in there, but the ID in there says Malachi Olson.
I wasn't even looking for that stuff. I was just looking at structural integrity.
I know. It was right down at the base of a column you were examining.
Okay. By the way, should I have made a roll for that?
Yes. Give me a couple, give me 2 structural engineering, or if you've got that.
Yeah, I do. That was one of them that we specifically decided on.
Give me 2 structural engineering.
44 and 40.
Hey, Brian,
Yes.
you might want to put the. I'll do it because you just sent that to me.
Oh, sorry.
I got it. Copy paste.
Thank you.
I spelled that
You gotta
wrong.
watch
I
that.
spelled it with an O and not an E. Damn, I was close.
That's
I've
why
gotten every
I tried to
other one
paste it.
right. I've gotten every other one right.
All right, so Vlad, your engineering, you're looking at, there were a couple columns that were kind of that you really suspected. Both of them look to be still structurally intact. Obviously, you're going to have to do the plaster and stuff on them because they got a bit dinged up. But it does not look like there's any issues with the floor or the wall structural integrity. Although you do notice that in front of the door leading into the room, the special collections room, there's a hole that you can actually look down and see the lower floor. And it's part of the corner of that wall, but the corner of that room is not structural. Those walls are not structural walls. They're just cheap walls. But yeah, you're gonna have to repair the floor, but it's a solid floor. I mean, it's a big, heavy building, solid floor, so it'll take a little bit, but you're not caving in the entire building just from a hole in the floor. The hole's about, that big.
Grenade size.
What's the material the flooring is made out of? Is it like
That's
fancy like wood floor, or is it like poured concrete, or like what?
It is cheap industrial carpet over concrete.
Okay.
Duct tape and chicken wire.
Makes things a little bit more tricky.
Special duct tape and chicken wire.
Yeah.
I think what's the wall made of?
Hey, Vlad, do you see any loose wires or plumbing electrical issues?
No, you did not see any. It did not go through any of the through any plumbing or anything or wires. You do see like a loose wire in the part of the wall that was blown out in the special collections room. That wall is 2x4s and drywall, so it's just a cheap indoor wall more than anything.
All right, so the wall is easily replaceable. The floor is going to take a little bit extra work.
Yes, absolutely. So yeah, you know what? I think this is the point. This is a great point right here where we're going to call it for the night. We've been going for about an hour and a half, and we're at or little under an hour and a half. We're at our point. So, story play awards. This is where we get fun stuff. So story play awards. If I can find my, of course I can't. Sorry, I was looking for my handy cheat sheet for my skills. All right, so story play awards. As you know, this is where we reward what you did during the game session. So, starting around the clock, according to my screen anyways, Vlad, we're going to give you... Let's go ahead and add 4 points to your structural engineering skill. It should be a proficiency, actually. So, glitch. Let's add 4 points to survival awareness. So that'll be 4 permanent points. Sapling. Let's see here. We don't have points for snark, so
I mean, I think you should add it to the list, really.
Snark is
you
not
know,
available skill.
Seriously, I mean, yeah.
I mean,
that's
can you
just
take
an
away
inherent skill.
judgment?
I was gonna say that should be a thing with I'm cold. Like you can try to do that thing, but I feel like you're not gonna fight to the roll. You're cold. You're distracted.
What all did you do during this session? I know you didn't do a whole lot. Didn't do really any rolls. You know what?
I perceived. I packed little saplings in my bag. I didn't get to say that.
So you did do survival awareness. So go ahead and add 4 points to survival awareness roll.
Sapling was also trying to assist Gruff with the medicine checks.
And I took down that light pole number for my paperwork.
That is true. Yes.
Very
Yes.
important.
2 points in bureaucracy. Go.
Yes.
I mean, you're gonna end up with modifiers for bureaucracy, I'm sure. So Neuro, let's see, you did survival awareness. Let's go ahead and add 4 points to that.
Okay.
Imp, you really just you rolled more survival awareness than anything else, right?
Yeah, the only other roll I made was my ancient history roll.
He was very comforting to the.
You know what? Go ahead and take 4 points in ancient history.
Okay.
WD 42. Let's add 4 points to your operate computers electronics. And Gruff.
Now we're talking about bodies.
Let's go 4 points for the combat trauma medic.
Sounds good.
Skill. So that'll be your story play awards for the week. Same bat time, same bat channel next time. So let me go ahead and stop the recording.